is how I play the game! Oh my god! What the fuck?
Holy shit! That is an epic fucking intro, dude. And I have to warn everyone. Warning. What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting. Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
They will actually send you games early and for free. Okay? So you might say, wow, that's a win-win. I'm a content creator. I get a game early and for free, so I don't have to pay for it. And I get it before everybody else. What's the drawback of that? Well, here's the thing. There's a drawback if you're an honest person. Okay? Literally, there's a drawback if you're an honest person. If you're a dishonest person who all you care about is personal gain, then there's no drawback at all. You're 100%, you're living easy, right? Easy street. Right down the fucking yellow brick road. But anyone else, if you have actual integrity or moral problems, you know, with not being able to be actual honest with your audience, there's a problem. So allow me to explain. Okay? When they send you these early games, there is always an agreement you must sign in order to have access to these games. There is never a single instance where they will just mail you something and say, here it is. Let's say, for example, you were told you're going to get access to the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC for Elden Ring early. You're going to get it 1 week early, and you're going to be able to make content. Are you kidding me? Do you know how many people will watch my content if I get to play the game a whole week early? I will get a boost in views, boost in attention, likely a boost in support on the streams, in the videos. People will go crazy if I got to play Shadow of the Erdtree a week early, right? So absolutely, I'm going to do everything in my power as a content creator to be able to do that, okay? Now, this is a hypothetical. This has not happened. I'm just saying this is an example of what will happen. So you're working with this PR agent to hash this out. And the PR agent would say, okay, what platform do you want it? Blah, blah, blah. You work all that out. And then they will send you an agreement. And the agreement will usually read to something like this. So, you agree by accepting this agreement and the copy of the game that you will only put out such and such content in such and such a way in such and such an order so as not to massively spoil or in a way that does not hurt the game. What does that mean? Well, first of all, a lot of these games have timing of when you can do things. They'll first allow you to put out an early access teaser. Maybe you can only play the first 2 hours of the DLC, and then you can't upload or stream anything else. That's your limit. Then you get in trouble if you go past that. Okay? You're able to put out an early impressions video where you can only talk about the first 2 hours, you know, transparently. Then you'll be told there's a review embargo, and you can formally review the game on this date, which is usually a few days before the game actually has a full release for everybody else. Okay? So, you can't stream the rest of it, but you can at least make a review of it. Then, usually and typically, you're told you can still play the game early, maybe a day or two earlier than everybody else, and you have free reign to do whatever you want. So maybe it's like 2 days before everyone else gets it, you can play it and stream it fully, so you do. So what ends up happening, in most cases, most new games already are in their entirety on the internet before the game even is available for public sale. Don't you think that kind of kills the whole idea of hype behind a video game? Like, do you remember the days when there was a big game release and everyone ran out to play it on day one, and all of a sudden the whole internet was abuzz with talk about what you're experiencing in the game, and the plot, and the secret boss, and stuff like that? Now, literally the entire game is on the internet early.
I need the views. I need the day one attention. Day one views. Day one inflated views. Make the money.
People know about how the game plays 2 weeks in advance because of the early impressions. People already know the first few hours of every game. The entire game is there a few days early. So what exactly is the hype behind the game today? And the answer is there is none. These game companies, in their hunger to create hype for their games, actually kill all hype for their games with this practice. If you are one of these content creators who gets games early, you're in the circle, as they would say. You know all the PR agents for all the big publishers. They know you. They start offering you things early. They start offering you access. Hey, we'll fly you out to an event. You can cover a game early. You know, you get basically it's the life, right? How many YouTubers that are big do you know that get everything early? They fly out to events. They do all this special hoity-toity stuff. Do you know why they get that? Because they're butt kissers. Because they literally agree to all of these agreements to get out and do good for themselves. But is it honest? Well, allow me to explain my take on this.
I mean, I'll be honest, just like any other normal human, yes, am I jealous of certain people and of people who are successful and whatever? Of course I am. Of course I'm going to have jealousy. That's a natural human emotion for those who have more than you. You're always going to have that natural kind of jealousy of those who maybe have, been more successful or things like that.
Think of it this way. You get an early copy of a game. That game sucks. But you're told all you can do is 2 hours of gameplay. It's all you can show. All you can do is do an early impressions video. You can't review the game until a few days before it comes out, and then you get to stream that game 2 days early. If that game sucks, are you going to say in your early impressions that it really sucks? Or are you going to say, well, maybe there's some things I like and don't like. I can't wait to play more to find out. If you say the game sucks up front, even if it does, who's going to care about you covering the rest of that game? No one. No one wants to see you stream it early. No one wants to care about your review. You already said it sucked in the early impressions. So how many early impressions videos out there do you really think you're going to say, this game sucks? Nearly none. There will be a few people who will break the mold and be honest, but you'll probably usually notice those people who do that are not the ones who get games early all the time. Maybe every once in a while they do, and then all of a sudden you notice they don't do it anymore, okay? There's the temptation will always be there. If you have personal gain and benefit from saying a game is good, why wouldn't you? Now, in addition to that, think of it this way. If you continue to get things early, you will continue to get early access, early preview videos, reviews, and then streaming it earlier than everybody else, that's going to continue to make you money. That's going to continue to allow you to have business success on the internet. So, why on earth, unless a game really was a bad dumpster fire, why on earth would you have any incentive to say something was bad? And if you say games are good, and these publishers now make money as a basis from your content, they'll continue to send you free stuff. Because they know, oh, you're their golden boy now. You're our money train. You're our ticket. If we give you early stuff, you make it look good, everyone goes out and buys it, and now we make money off of it, right? So it's this symbiotic relationship where you say stuff is good, you continue to get stuff early, you profit, they profit, and continue to send you the stuff early. That's the situation with these games, okay?
I can never get a sponsor. I'm just being real with you guys. I will never get like a sponsor because if I got one, they would be trolled so fucking hard by the people who hate me that the sponsor would say, even though you did nothing wrong, Phil, it's too much liability with all these assholes. So, we can't move forward with the sponsorship. And this has happened to me many times in the last year. So these people who are the golden boys of the gaming industry get everything early, kiss its butt, make tons of bank doing it, continue that vicious cycle of over promotion for literal nothing. People keep throwing them fucking money and popularity, and then you get game after game after game that comes out that sucks shit, but you fell for the trap. That's what I hate about modern gaming.
Now you might say, why in the holy hell is Phil bringing this up today? Well, I'll tell you why. Because finally, for the first time, we actually have concrete evidence it's happening. It's not just speculation anymore, alright? It's actually concretely happening with this game Marvel Rivals, okay? You'll find social media right now is full of posts about Marvel Rivals, okay? But you might not actually realize what's going on. Well, guess what? Someone whistle blew. Someone spilled the beans. I'm going to read this directly from a tweet from a seagull. That's actually the actual address on Twitter, a seagull. Extremely disappointed in @Marvel Rivals. Multiple creators asked for key codes to gain access to the playtest, and they're being asked to sign a contract. The contract signs away your right to negatively review the game. Many streamers have signed without reading just to play the game. Insanity. They then posted up the actual screen grab. I'm going to read you the actual word-for-word part of the contract that people are required to sign to get this game early. Are you ready? Word for word. Section 2.1, non-disparagement. The content creator agrees not to make any public statements or engage in discussions that are detrimental to the reputation of the game. This includes, but is not limited to, A, making disparaging or satirical comments about any game-related material, such as in-game features, characters, or music. B, engaging in malicious comparisons with competitors, or belittling the gameplay or differences of Marvel Rivals, or providing subjective negative reviews of the game. Wait, huh? Did you listen to that final portion? Or providing subjective negative reviews of the game. It didn't say providing subjective reviews. It said providing subjective negative reviews of the game. Literally in the contract for Marvel Rivals to get alpha access, it says you can't criticize the game negatively. You can only say it's good. Now, this is a bold move, okay? Like I said, up until now, most of these game publishers have not put this into writing. It's been the unspoken rule, right? There were content creators who would do the early access agreements, get the game early, play it, and then criticize it, and then what would happen? The agreements would never come again. It would just be blacklisted from those services, and you'd never hear from that PR rep again to get access to another game. Oh, that's the guy that said our game wasn't good. Fuck that guy. I guess he just doesn't understand how the industry works, right?
Yeah, you got a guy who's doing a sponsored stream on your game, and he's a jerk, and he's a pedophile, and he's a fucking racist, and you don't want him playing your game.
The sponsorship is now gone.
But in this case, they are outright putting it in the contract, saying if you criticize our game, any portion of it, if you satirize it, if you compare it with another game in a negative way, if you say any part of our game is negative in a subjective fashion, you terminate your agreement and you lose access to the game, and likely you'll get blacklisted and never get access to games ever again. Most people have no problem with it. Most people think that this process is fine and dandy, acceptable, and should just continue. It's fine that people can lie to us about games, or at least be only half truthful about games so they can benefit. That's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
So you're okay with being lied to. You're okay with being lied to. You're literally okay with being told half-truths. You like the fact that there's content creators that every day they turn on that camera and they turn on their broadcast, they're just advertising to you. That's fine. As long as you get a little laugh out of it or you're entertained. You're not getting any worthwhile content. It's literally just for money, just a shill, but you're okay with this. And there's people out there who, yeah, that's fine. I do it to make money. I want to get sponsors. I want to stream and make money on my streams. And I want this to become a career. Maybe if you didn't take away my opportunity to do sponsored streams like everyone else can do, then maybe I wouldn't have to e-bag because I'd be making enough extra money to pay the bills that I need to e-bag to pay the bills. You see what I mean?
I guess I'm just different. I'm cut from a different cloth than a lot of people. Really. Because when you say to me, why don't you take the bag? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? I refuse. I refuse. Because I'm the kind of guy that I want you to be able to come to my channel every day and to know that the games I play, what I'm representing, is my true and honest feeling about that game in the moment. That's why when I'm doing things and I'm saying things that sound different from other content creators, there's usually a reason why. You know? I'm going to call stuff out regardless, because, listen, it doesn't matter to me if I say a game is good or bad. I'm not a big guy. I don't have clout, right? So it doesn't matter if I say a game sucks or a game is great. Yeah, a few hundred to maybe a few thousand people will care. That's a drop in an ocean, right? I have no impact. So I can be honest, and no one is going to say, oh, see, because he criticized our game, now we're in trouble. So, no. So it doesn't, to me, that's what I pride myself on, is that when you come to check out my content, you're getting my truthful feelings and honest opinions about a game I'm playing, and you can trust it. As opposed to literally anyone else who's getting all these opportunities and getting shit early, and literally they get all the views and all the attention because people are so fucking dumb that they just sit there and watch paid advertisements all day. Meanwhile, everyone else out there that wants to help you and give you true opinions on games and feedback so you don't spend money on crap, right? People who actually have passion for their work, and they do it because they feel there's meaning behind it, not because they're making a bag today. Those people, forget them. Who cares about them, right? They're nobodies. Keep watching the same top 50 people who already are rich, and are rich because you let them advertise to you every day, right? None of this makes sense to me, but it's probably because that's the kind of person I am. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and some people, they're just so different. Like I said, maybe I really am cut from a different cloth, right? I'm the guy who literally refused to take that bank. You know what I'm saying?
The truth is, this year I could have had a ton of sponsorship opportunities. I could have. A lot of them opened up, and I couldn't get them because whenever I tried, people would harass the fuck out of whoever the sponsor was. And the sponsor was like, not that we believe anything they're saying, but we can't have this level of harassment on our social media, and with our products. So sorry, we can't have you have a sponsorship, It's fucked up. If people would just leave me the fuck alone, I would have had a lot more success.
And that's what kills me about it, is that human nature isn't changing. People just want to get ahead by any means, and I've had enough of it. Like, I mean, at least now I have an avenue to talk with people about it. And listen, there's what, 300 people on this podcast right now? Yeah, there's about 300 people on the podcast right now. There'll be probably a few hundred watching it after the fact. My detractors will make an echo chamber, and they'll fucking talk about it too. And they'll spin it and say, oh, it's because Phil is jealous. It's because Phil is this and that. I'm not jealous. I've literally always been like this my whole life. Hard work is how you get ahead, not playing the game of butt kissing. I've literally never kissed butt in my entire life, which is probably why I am where I am. And I'm not one of these top of the mound prominent people. Because again, when you look at people who criticize me and say, oh, Phil was once this big guy in gaming and now he's a nobody. Yeah, but how did I get here? Right? Because I didn't play the game. I refused.
There's probably a reason why I haven't had an offer on Twitch to do a sponsored stream since early October. I'm just saying, probably because these fuckers spam everyone who I do sponsored streams for. No one wants to deal with that shit.
Why would anyone right now have access to the fucking update for Street Fighter 6 already? Why would you have it a week and a half, 2 weeks early? Why should it's a competitive fighting game, and you're giving access to a certain group of people early? Does that make any fucking sense? Nope. But I bet the people who have it are making bank on it. That's what I mean. And it's a vicious cycle. It continues. It never ends. It will always be like this until we as viewers and consumers step up and stop accepting this as the norm and saying, wait a minute, at one point we have to collectively have some kind of a moral compass and say, this is gross, right? This is just not where we want gaming to go. We can't trust anyone anymore because the only people who get pushed forward as a voice are people who are being paid to say things.
Why do I sometimes name drop other content creators that are bigger and more successful than me? Because I'm jealous. That's why. Yes, I'm jealous of PewDiePie. Yes, I'm jealous of Markiplier. They're rich. I'm not. I'm jealous of them. Why do you think I bring them up? Right?
Again, when I started on YouTube, I was the hard worker, the guy who ran to the store to buy the game as soon as I could, come home, pop it in the console, record hours and hours of honest gameplay, get it on the internet. People loved me for that. I was the everyman gamer. That's what people liked about me. Now, there are no everyman gamers. There are the butt-kissing, elitist, you are the prioritized people because you lie to your audience constantly gamer. That's fucked up.
That's like me, right? That's like me. Breathe! There's still this back here. And it's still in the back of my neck, the back of my head, the back of my mind, and it's always telling me. It's WWE Champions time. I love it. I love it. Is a mobile game addict. Phil has indoctrinated children who send him money, blatantly milking for money. It's a money pit. It's gone, just gone like that. In an instant, fucking gone. I just care about money. I just can't help it. I eBay. Contributions are mandatory, but I need your help. I am appealing directly to you. No decency, no respect, no common sense, no fucking maturity. Is the guy who just doesn't get reality.